Alright guys, this is part 2. I got the throttle bodies already installed. This is what I installed, the one that I hacked up but I couldn't screw it on no more, right? And then the other one I used the B series, and I could have used the D17 or the K20 throttle body. This is the K20 throttle body. So this is how it ended up being the position sensor. I ended up adjusting the screw a little bit right here because it was closing, getting stuck. I got my daughter with me. She doesn't listen. Say hi.
Hi.
Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna show you what the percentage I got on the scanner. I'm gonna connect this. A lot of people always accidentally switch the TPS sensor with the map sensor, and when they do the swap, the Y swap, they don't get it to idle or the car running weird. So that's one of the main things, because the map sensor has the same connector, 3 wires, but it's different colors. Yeah, I had marked on here an M for map sensors, and then on this one TPS sensor, so I wouldn't mix them. You can mark it with a marker or something, or tape. Anyways, okay, this is what I'm getting. 9%. And then I'm gonna open full throttle. I wish I had a helper with the camera. That's full throttle. And I got 88.2. Pretty close to the readings I had got originally. So when I close it, it's I gotta let it go like that. 90. Make sure. Yeah, 90. So that's the readings I was getting, 90. It's a little lower on the full throttle body, but it's okay. I'm gonna re-dyno, so they'll relearn that map for the new throttle body and new map sensor. I want to show you guys something too. I want to tell you guys about the B series throttle body. This is an aftermarket, no-name brand. I don't know if it was, I think it was Blocks. So you remember I had told you guys I cut a piece off here to make it better for the clearance. If you use a Y8 manifold, you probably won't have clearance issues. Where's the piece? I don't know. Oh, it's right here. The piece I cut off to get more clearance off that throttle body. Different brands probably will be thinner right here and not as thick. Maybe the Skunk 2 doesn't have this big old bump. I don't even know why they have this big old bump like that. But different brands. And then this is the idle screw that they have. I shut it closed all the way up. I don't need it working for this car. I'm gonna make another video of how I make the idle air control valve, since I can't have it on this manifold or in a throttle body. Like the K20 has the idle air control on it. I'm gonna make a plate separated from the throttle body and the intake manifold to make it idle normal, just like the car. Alright, and then let's see, these guys, headers. I have a bunch of hoses here. I'm gonna mod an oil cooler kit. These headers are from B series. The B series headers, and pretty much I cut the flange, and then I cut another header that I had aftermarket, the flange too. So I used the D17 and I welded it on this. I didn't do it myself. I had some other guy do it more professionally. I'm okay welder, but not as good as he is, because this is a different material. So these headers were more far apart on every runner, so I used a truck strap to do the middle ones first and then pull these together in to weld them in there. But he had a tack weld every single one first, then slowly weld everything together so it wouldn't warp or nothing would crack. So he did it really slowly. Probably took like 2 hours or 3 hours to do the whole thing. He made an aluminum plate and we drilled screws and we bolted it around so it wouldn't warp, and then the heat would go into the aluminum and dissipate faster for the weld. But I noticed out the back, these headers, out of all the headers that I had the 4-2-1 headers. It's okay, almost 4-2-1 headers and DC race headers, and these headers made more horsepower. Well, I actually haven't dynoed them with yet, so it made a lot more torque and power. I noticed off the back. So when I dyno, it's gonna be an increase of dyno, and then I'm gonna, of course, dyno with the bigger throttle body. And then another thing too, I noticed, because me and my brother do a bunch of, well, him mostly did a bunch of dynos, and we noticed that if your throttle body intake tube is smaller than the throttle body, you're gonna lose power. So you need to make sure it's slightly bigger than the throttle body. The same size is okay, but you should have it a little bit bigger than the actual throttle body to get the maximum horsepower. And then he made 8 more horsepower having the tube coming out the light. 8 more horsepower. So versus having the intake right here, and then when you put the tube through, he made 8 more horsepower. That was the B series, but just to let you shows you what difference in horsepower. And he's using the same headers because he gained the most horsepower with these headers than with the Tri-Y and then the other types of different headers. I'm gonna make another video because they're also asking about the fuel rail. How did I do that? People think it's aftermarket fuel rail, but it's not. So I'm making another fuel rail, another video, and then I'll throw in the oil catch I made.
Daddy, help me. Daddy, help me.
Okay, I'll help you right now. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That was part 2. So yeah, so different aftermarket throttle bodies will be different clearances.
I'm stuck.
And then, it'll probably be better if you just do the aftermarket K20 throttle body. Or just the stock, depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go all out like me, you have to shop around and figure out what you need to make the most horsepower. Alright, thanks for watching.